Today is National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which started as a grassroots movement to raise awareness of prevention, care, and treatment options in communities of color. Now, while anyone can get HIV, Black Americans are disproportionately affected. The CDC reports that while Black people account for 13% of the U.S. population, they made up 40% of people with HIV in 2019. On average, 1 in 16 Black men and 1 in 30 Black women will be diagnosed with HIV at some point in their lifetime. So let's bring in founder of the Black AIDS Institute, Phil Wilson, for more on this. Phil, thanks for being here. You know, CDC data shows that over the past decade, new infections have dropped among white, gay, and bisexual men, but remained flat among those who are Black, Hispanic, or Latino. Why are we seeing these higher rates to begin with? And then why aren't we seeing these numbers come down in these communities?
Well, thank you for having me, Diane. And, you know, the CDC recently released a report showing that Black people are disproportionately impacted by HIV on every level. We get infected at higher rates, as you just reported. We get sicker faster, we die faster. Interesting, you know, that's a report that has been released every year for the last 40 years. Now, so Black people have been disproportionately impacted by HIV since the beginning of the epidemic. It's kind of like Groundhog Day every February where we release this information. There are a number of fundamental issues that continue to exist. Now, high rates of poverty, now housing instability, the issue around discrimination, and a distrust of both the healthcare system and systems in general in the United States as Black people feel mistreated and facing all sorts of challenges.
Now, throughout the pandemic, we've heard a lot about the disproportionate impact of COVID-19 on communities of color. Is there a common thread here?
Yes, I think that there certainly is a common thread. You know, one would have hoped that we would have learned lessons from HIV and AIDS, and clearly we have.
All right, Shalom, brothers and sisters in the truth. I'm your brother Moato Dawah. I'm coming to you again with another lesson, Lord willing. This will be edifying to those of you who are tuning in. And the title of this lesson today is Jake will be the face of the next scamdemic, super HIV. I repeat, Jake will be the face of the next scamdemic, super HIV. Now, I brought a video a couple months ago talking about the word disproportionate, okay, that is commonly used to describe any type of negativity or negative event, okay, that's impacting everybody, but they use the word disproportionate to describe how this event is impacting the so-called Blacks, Native American, and Latinos in this nation. Okay, and this is a stigma that has been brought on us across this earth, which is the reason why Jake, okay, across this globe is looked upon as being the cause of anything that is negative. Remember, the word black is perceived as negative, and white is perceived as virtuous, pure, and good. Okay, but before we get into this here, I'd like to start off by giving all glory and honor to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash. Double honor to the teachers, elders, and apostles from Great Millstone. Also to you brothers out there that are putting on this truth faithfully, fearlessly, feeding the sheep. And to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in. Shalom. Okay, so now I played that video for you here, and the first thing that came out that Edomite's mouth was what? Disproportionate. She talked about the fact that there's now there's a resurgence of HIV that's impacting everybody, but really impacting the so-called Blacks and Latinos, and specifically Blacks. Okay. And they go into their statistics, and apparently today, February 25th, is National Black HIV and AIDS Awareness Day, which is like, see, that just goes to show just how wicked this queendom is, man. Every other day, there's some type of, either honoring some wickedness or celebrating some type of wickedness, or they're bringing out something that, is supposed to be what they conceive to be good, but it's actually not really good. Let's go to the book of Proverbs. This is Proverbs 26 down verse 25. It says, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations inside. This is talking about Esau. Now you can see on the screen here, it says, world may see another pandemic. Mr. Gates says this, okay? And he goes on and say, well, usually these pandemics come in the year 100 years or so, but he see that this is going to come, a lot sooner than that, and it's going to be a lot bigger. It goes here and it says, referring to Gates' 2015 prediction about the next pandemic, which actually turned out to be this COVID-19 that right now it seems to be relapsing according to, the headlines. Okay. Now, let me go back into Proverbs 26, verse 25, and said, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations inside. Now, they're making it look like this AIDS and HIV Awareness Day is a good thing, that, they're doing something good. They're trying to bring awareness to the community about that. But in reality, what they're actually doing, okay, is they're stigmatizing, the so-called Black and Native American Latinos, because guess what? On this screen here, what does this man said? The world may see another pandemic. Now, I'm going to show you, in the next article, that's showing that there's a kick up in this super virus that's going around. Okay, but the stigma, okay, it means a mark of disgrace associated with a particular circumstance, quality, or persons. Okay, which attributes to the Asherala, okay, the Hebrew Israelites. Okay. And the circumstances here, or this particular circumstances, that there is this violent illness that's going on. Now, she said in that video, what did she say? She said that, amongst transsexuals, whites and gay and bisexual men, or whatever case like that, it hasn't the HIV AIDS infections have not risen, but or it's actually going down, but amongst Blacks and Latinos and Native Americans, but particularly Blacks, it seems to be stabilizing. Like every year, it just seems to be the same. Like when you look at this, the Edomites, they're the ones that practice bestiality, heavily in adultery, they're heavily in opioids, and all of these contribute to AIDS and disease. Now we can look and we can see that this is not AIDS or HIV does not come from what they claim it would be, and I will show you this in this article from way back, in the 80s when they were claiming that it was coming from chimpanzees. Okay, let's finish up with Proverbs here. This is Proverbs 26, starting with verse 26, and it says, "Whose hatred is covered by deceit, his wickedness shall be showed before the whole congregation. Whoso diggeth a pit shall fall in, and he that rolleth a stone, it will return upon him. A lying tongue hated those that are afflicted by it." And who's a liar? Esau. Okay, these Edomites. And they're lying about Jake. Okay, they hated those that are afflicted by it, and they flatter him out, work it ruin. This ruins. What this is basically, it's a stigma. Okay?
Stigma.
And it's a mark of disgrace associated with particular circumstances, quality, or persons. That could be a nation. Okay? And it also is
defamation.
Defamation, okay? The action of damaging the good reputation of someone, slander, or libel. We don't practice bestiality and the way adultery is done among showcase out there on these movies and television shows, okay, like Esau puts out there, and opioids. And what is adultery? Adultery is a woman that's actually spreading her legs around, okay? That's what adultery is, okay? And adultery would also be a man, okay, who's married, who's messing with another man's wife. That's adultery for the male, okay? If that woman is taken by that man, according to the scripture, that is adultery. Now, in Esau society, that's different. That has a whole different meaning, okay? But that's what that means. All right. So let's take a look at this article right here now. Look at this article here. It says, this is from the Daily Digest, and it says, newly highly virulent HIV discovered. As I said, newly highly virulent HIV variant discovered. And I'm going to go through this, okay? Because supposedly this is right now is out in the Netherlands, okay? So what they're saying is, okay, this is more likely to develop AIDS, and this is the new thing that's been going on right now, and they're bringing this out, okay? And it says UN weighs in. The Joint United Nations HIV/AIDS program states that those infected with the VB variant face double the rate of immune system decline. Why is this all of a sudden? Okay, if you have right now this, pandemic has reached to a level to where right now they're allowing people to take off their masks. Let's go into the book of 2 Chronicles 16, starting verse 12, and it says, and Asher. Now, who is Asher? Okay, Asher, okay, is, according to the Bible, Asher was in the Hebrew Bible, the third king of the kingdom of Judah and the fifth king of the house of David. Okay, and what now? Why is this important? Okay, take a look at it, because it says, "And Asher in the 39th year of his reign was disease in his feet, until his disease was exceedingly great. Yet in his disease he sought not to the Lord Yahweh Shemashai, but to the physicians." Now, what do we know about these physicians? Now, they talk about this, and you go. I'm going to get back to this this variant, highly virulent HIV variant that they're talking about. And let's take a look at this. It said, what is the impact of HIV on racial and ethnic minorities in the U.S.? Okay, and I already played that video for you, and you can take a look here, and you can see these numbers are all buffed up. Now, who are these coming from? This information is coming from who? Our enemies, the CDC. And who's the CDC? The CDC. These guys, these type of men are the ones that are heading the CDC. Okay, let's go into the book of this is the book of Job 13 and 4, and it says, "But ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value." These are all physicians of no doggone value. Okay, now that very flamboyant Jake that was in the video, and I don't know if he's a Jake or he's a Tear, talked about the fact that there was a distrust of the medical system here in Great Babylon, and there should be a distrust. Any one of us can tell a story about, and I can tell many stories about the fact that you go to a physician and they don't treat you at all. Okay, they don't treat you at all. They'll tell you there's nothing wrong with you. Now, that actually was a snare for these Edomites, because when they go to them, they're prescribed these opioids, which is the reason why you see the opioid epidemic is going. Because see, when you have a pain as a so-called black man in America, you're considered, they tell you, okay, you're not really feeling anything. You're just a big gorilla, a big strong gorilla. So gorillas don't feel pain. King Kong don't feel no pain. But when the little feminine white boy comes inside there like that, he's prescribed all these opioids. And when the little feminine Edomite come inside there, she's prescribed opioids. There's a reason why they now have that pandemic going on, that opioid pandemic. Okay. Because there's drug dealers on every corner in America known as doggone pharmacists, okay? And guess what? The drug dealers don't have to sign up on the street, because all you have to do is just walk into CVS or Walgreens. Those are your drug hotspot. And Edomites have endless supply of these drugs, okay? So it says, what is the impact on HIV on racial and ethnic minorities in the U.S.? And you can see this graph going on here. Now, what they're doing is they're really setting this up, because, again, I talk about the defamation. Okay, there's a stigma that goes along with this. Okay, what does Luke says here? Because when you look at Asher, who had this disease and he did not return to the Lord, Yahweh Shemashai, this is exactly what we're bringing up right now. Because what is going on right now? You get the prophets and elders and teachers and brothers alike are bringing out the word. Okay, telling Israel to turn from their transgression, turn from the wickedness of this place. Okay, you do have Jakes that are involved with bestiality. Okay. The adultery according to the laws of Israel, okay, and the adultery according to the laws of Edom, okay, and opioids. Jake are involved in all of these things. I mean, you can bring it out here. You see how the brothers and bring out the videos with Eve them, okay, who basically to them all a man really is just a currency, and what she's gonna do is she's gonna sell her vagina to him, okay. So that's the wickedness here, because they're involved. They're involved with the lifestyle here in Great Babylon, and hence the reason why when not to make this video long, but when you go into that video a little deeper and a little further, okay, that I was playing a little bit earlier, okay, it shows you little videos with what does it show? It shows the so-called black females on the street there prostituting, okay, and it shows with the Jake men who are part of the LGBTQ type thing, and even the Jake, the Jake there who's speaking, you can see that he's part of that fraternity too. Okay, this is the book of Luke. This is the book of Luke, and this is Luke chapter 18, and it's starting with verse 43, and it says, "And a woman having an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physicians." Okay, this is what our people do. Our people like to go and trust in to these guys. Okay, and they like to trust into the physicians. Okay, listening to these guys who are the World Health Organization out there. Okay, these people who right now are cooking up some type of new scamdemic. Okay, and guess what? They already get the stars of it, and the star is who? Yasharallah. Okay, the Hebrew Israelite. The man, the women. Okay, again, we were the star and we would have started in the face of the COVID-19, okay? We had to start in the face of all the crimes and that goes on the earth. We might even become the face of this doggone war that's going on in Ukraine, okay, with Russia. I won't be surprised if somehow it's going to be Jake's fault, okay, that started, okay? So let's continue on here. This is verse 43. It says, and a woman have an issue of blood 12 years, which had spent all her living upon physician, neither could be healed of any, came behind him and touched the border of his garment, and immediately her issue of blood stenched. And Yahushua said, who touched me? When all denied, Peter and they that were with him said, Master, the multitude thronged thee and pressed thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And Yahushua said, somebody had touched me, for I perceive that virtue is going out of me. So he was in the crowd and he was teaching, okay, and this woman who had this disease, was trying to reach to him like that. Basically, she low crawled to him, and basically she had so much faith that she would be healed, okay, because she had spent all her money, she was broke, and she said what else did she had to lose? All she had was faith. So she just figured that if she even touched his clothes, that she would be healed. That's how much faith this woman had. And so she did, and obviously it healed her, because Yahushua is looking and going, who touched me? He felt like there was a spirit. He felt like there was something taken out of him. Okay, now we don't know exactly what was taken out of him. It could be, power, whatever the case is like that. But she was healed just from simply touching his clothes. And it says, verse 47, it says, and when the woman saw that she was not hid, she came trembling and falling before him. She declared unto him before all the people for what had caused she had touched him, and how she was healed immediately. And he said unto her, daughter, be of good comfort, thy faith had made thee whole, and go in peace. So she was very scared, because he had asked, like, who touched me? Remember, Yahushua wasn't what these people predict, make him look like. He wasn't some soft guy. So, he probably used a very hard voice, like, who touched me? All right, you know how Jake speaks, okay? And she's scared. She came in there trembling. She didn't know what was going to happen. She can get a beat down or what. And he said, hey, you're healed. Your faith has healed you. Go home, okay? So this is what we're trying to bring to our people like that. You're listening to this. Let's go back to the screen here. Okay. And as you can see right now, they're coming up and cooking up this thing with this HIV, this new virulent strain. Okay. Interesting enough. Okay. A lot of the things that is associated with the corragment that's going on right now. Okay. And the people who, bow down to the mandate. Okay. Guess what? The impact and the effects that they had was similar to these things. Okay, so that's what we see going on here. All right. So just keep in mind here. Okay, Esau is wicked. He would come out. Okay, he would come out and act. Okay, like Proverbs 26 and 25 said, when he speaketh fair, believe him not, for there are 7 abominations inside. So they're not coming out with these talks about, this new virulent coming out there that impact the earth or whatever case like that, or why are they making it, HIV day for Negroes? Okay, take a look at this.
We've not learned them well enough. For many of us in Black communities, we feel like it's deja vu. We feel like the same processes that we experienced in the HIV pandemic, we're experiencing in COVID-19. And now we're facing the dual epidemics. What we see is that Black people who are living with HIV, or people in general living with HIV, disproportionately, those people are Black, also face higher incidences of COVID-19. The severity of the disease with COVID-19 is greater for people who are living with HIV as well.
And so is there sort of one key area that needs to be focused on, access to medication and healthcare, for example? What do you think is sort of one key place that...
So right now you can see what she's trying to do. They're trying to put in the so-called Blacks, Native Americans head, so-called Blacks here in America. Okay, she said is that, to seek medication. Okay, so you know exactly what she's getting to. I don't even have to even say it, okay? You know where they're getting at right now. So he already set it up to where now, okay, so-called Blacks, Native American, Latinos now are impacted by the C19 and also this HIV resurgence. Okay, so now she's saying, hey, maybe suggested that they go seek this medical help. Well, I already brought it out. Okay, they are what? They are right here. This is what Job 13:4 says. But ye are forgers of lies, so they're all liars. okay? And you are physicians of no value. Now, you 2/3, if you want to go out there, and because Esau is your master and he's your Lord and your Savior, and you're like white Jesus, hey, that's your business. We don't really care. This message is really only for the 1/3 and to edify the sheeps out there, okay? We're not going to bow down to Esau. We're not going to bow down to your mandate or to your lies. We know exactly who you are. You're a liar. You're a physician of no value. Okay? And if those of you who have medical insurance and all that stuff, cancel that damn shit because it's absolutely useless. Do not go to these damn people for any damn thing. All right? It's just better you just die of natural death because Yahweh should try to put you to death. Okay? Or whatever. Or suffer with it until the chariots come and get us off this doggone sick, decrepit pit hole of hell known as America, aka Babylon, Sodom, and Egypt. Okay? And with that, I'd like to close out and give all glory and honor to Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Shem, Rakakadash. Double honors to the teachers, elders, and apostles from Great Millstone, to you brothers out there that are putting this truth faithfully, fearlessly, feeding the sheep daily, and also to you brothers and sisters that are tuning in. Shalom, okay? The lies have been exposed, okay? We're not falling for it.